Donald and friends in the Hamburglar touch.
Rabble cheeseburgers.
That Hamburglar wishes everything he touches would turn to McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers? Touch. Cheeseburger. Touch. Rob a big cheeseburger.
Don't touch Grimace.
Boy. Touch my face. Rather.
It's a good time for the great taste. You haven't touched your cheeseburgers.
Don't touch Grimace, Dragon. That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the third installment in Ronald McDonald's Wacky Retrospective. That's right. Oh boy. All right, Dragon, did you know that thing about the Charlie Adler, how he voiced one commercial?
Was that, I've only worked with the auditory here. Was he speaking through the costume or was it animated?
Oh, I'm sure it was just a voiceover. But yes, it was a costume.
Well, I don't mean was he in the costume, Tiki. I mean, I'm not seeing the thing right now. Was it animated or was it?
It was a costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So this is interesting because that means we've. Do you know what year that was made?
1985.
85. Wow. What do you know? All right. Yeah. So that's interesting. So they were definitely pulling Adler from kind of like familiar stomping grounds, in which they pulled a lot from the McDonald's advertising. Apparently, obviously, with the fact that we have a McDonald's land in the first place. So it's not entirely surprising, I should say.
All right. So Visitor from Outer Space. This is Z and K. Z and K is very hyped about this one. I believe it's. Hold on. Is it his first? Did he say it was his first? I know it's Monkey's first. Coincidentally, the place that was near B used to include a rocket ship on the other level, a Charlie Adler lab. A Charlie Adler ad, but unfortunately without John Fielder narrating. Yeah, that's true. Yes, Z and K says it was the only video he had growing up. Okay, so Dragon, this I believe you, Monkey, Z and K. This is a big one for a lot of people, and I got to tell you, I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit on the outs. I like this. I don't think it's. It's funny because Scared Silly is the one that I grew up with. That's the one that I have the mad nostalgia for. I acknowledge it's not great, but I've got a lot of mad nostalgia for it. Grimace Island, Dragon. I promise you, that song is never going to leave my head.
Really, these didn't.
Dragon, okay, you see the 4 great far out songs right there? That's a lie. These are not great far out songs. These have nothing on the Grimace Island oogity boogity, whatever the fuck that is. It's still in my head, right. And it will never leave. It will never leave. It will never leave.
Well, I hope it drives you to madness because you deserve it. That's what you get for watching it, not just straightforward.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This one is the most straightforward so far, I think, as far as like, yeah, it's just a wacky little alien adventure. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some unhinged stuff in here for sure. Specifically, I am hungry, and also just the ceremonial alien song. That's a very unhinged moment that we will get into. But overall, Dragon, this is I could see an episode like this playing on Nickelodeon more easily than I could the other two, just because I feel like it feels a little bit more like a standard cartoon.
I think maybe perhaps that's the reason why it's so well remembered. That does feel the most kind of the 90s in terms of the stuff we're used to, especially with the kind of Class B Oozbo, kind of Kuzbo sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, so this one for me, this is literally a blast from the past. In that I realized something that I was wondering, like, did I kept thinking I must have, because there's one bit in this I know I absolutely saw. I was wondering if it was like kind of like a teaser from the commercials or not. I watched this episode, and then from the moment it started with the cold open, it's like, okay, I remember this is actually debatably my favorite of the bunch, but I forgot that I had the tape. So I think I had half the set. I had this and the next two. I think that was kind of what I had of the entire set. So that's the thing. So those three are this and Birthday World, which we'll get to. I think are the most well remembered for me. So when I once this started, I was like, oh god, this was a huge nostalgic trip for me. That's the thing. So this depending on how well Birthday World holds up, this might be my favorite. Yeah, as a kid, obviously through by proxy of Buzz Lightyear, like space was on my mind as a kid, and it's like, oh my god, we're sending this fast food icon into space, and we're putting him in a spacesuit. That is awesome. And obviously, the gadgets and the accoutrements really, I mean, of course, they've been kind of a strength of these tapes so far as we've been going through them. But I gotta tell you, man, they're just getting better and better with the design work and the marketing and the awesome design. I'm loving it.
I hope they keep it up because so far it's been great.
Also, the world building's been pretty good too. As this is the first time we really got to see McDonald's land outside of like the forest.
Dragon, this is the cosmic side of the McDonald Land cinematic universe.
Yeah, Guardians of the Happy Meal.
Okay.
But so I have a lot of nice things to say about this. I admit, no, not by all means. There's actually a big gaping kind of, there's kind of a big mistake in the writing on this. I did notice. As a kid, I never would have picked up on, but after Lightyear, I absolutely picked up on it.
Cool.
So we'll get to that. And again, I have a story for one specific part of this, which we'll get to.
All right, so I do want to keep up with the comments here a little bit. So one sec. Let me just make sure I'm not skipping over anything too important here. ZNK already gave us the info about the Charlie Adler thing. He also says this is going live on a day when I'm not working. Good to have you here, ZNK. Happy to.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal.
Okay. Dragon also, he says, you suppose the reason you keep bringing up the Sunday Squidward comparison is because D. Bradley Baker also voiced Squilliam. And I think, that is a problem.
No, that's absolutely. I swear to you, Tiki, I meant to bring that up last time we were talking because I did find that out. I found out the whole, because I thought, why is that voice so familiar? And I looked into, oh my god, that's Squilliam.
Makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
No wonder it sounds like Squidward. He's Squidward's rival. Technically, he was whatever Spike's puppy's name's rival was as well.
Okay, let's see. Monkey, he says, like I said, coincidentally enough, the next the place that used to be near him included a rocket ship on the upper level.
That has to be inspired. Has to be a link there somewhere.
I am thinking the link is more likely the fact that this was probably inspired that play places that were designed to be rocket ships, not the
vice versa. Somehow those two are linked somehow.
I have a feeling that was a reoccurring motif with the play places.
I would like to think so.
Okay. Monkey says the fact that they're just casually on a rocket ship is kind of unhinged. Yeah. Let's see. ZK says I Am Hungry was also a commercial character. In fact, they use the exact same audio from his commercial.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
All right, for sure. If this was emulating a different Nicktoon, we'd see I Am Hungry's cousin, I Was Hungry.
I was hungry.
But I was hungry.
In there.
God. ZNK says once Buzz went to infinity and beyond,
children only wanted to play with space toys.
Oh God!
God, I love the way
finally,
Monkey says,
sorry. Finally, Monkey says the McDonald's restaurant in this episode raises some questions about the involvement Ronald has.
I know. I want to bring that up with the world building once we get into it. Just let's start.
Okay, so let's start with the live action stuff.
So this is the moment where I had like the big nostalgia kind of whoosh kind of go over me here. I was like, oh my god, I absolutely, because this has all my favorite. This is probably my favorite cold open of the bunch. Because I love this thing. I love the opening. We have a very I love Ronald McDonald with the risk communicator so much. Well, with the risk communicator, the idea it's just very cozy, like him in the burger bed reading with his dog, just really cute. And he goes over. I love all the accoutrements here, like the map, and not just a map. No, it's the McDonald Land Alien Action Plan. It's this little book with the red and the yellow McDonald's logo on it. And my favorite part, you got a slideshow, and on that slideshow, they walk you through everything, including the siren. And the best part of all, Tiki.
Yes.
He can project the alarm switch on
the
screen. I I lost it during that, man. I was like, oh my god, it's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. He actualized something in 2 dimensions. Oh, it was awesome.
It is pretty cool, indeed.
So that was always like as a kid, I was wigged out watching that whole like, oh my god, look, he just made it pop up and he interacted with it. It's like the cartoon principle, like when sometimes like on Blue's Clues, when you interact with the thing, he draws it and then you have like the background painted and then you can pick it up and it's an actual phone. It's like that kind of trippy kind of
Kind of
thing.
like the Doodle Bob kind of thing too.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's Doodle Bob for sure, but I'm saying it's always like that painted background thing where it's the human actor has to interact with a cartoon thing and it becomes live action.
Right. I hear you. Yeah.
But you're right though, very Doodle Bob-esque, it was cool. So also, we had some interaction here, which is really nice because usually we have kind of the 2D characters representing kind of like a 3D kind of sort of thing, and here we had the interaction where they pulled the switch, and it echoes all throughout McDonald's land. So we check in with our animated characters. I mean, doesn't this
really
opening
love these animated these little check-ins, Dragon. Grimace getting the haircut. By the way, tell me that barber doesn't just look like something straight out of a Rugrats like third tier background character or something.
He does very much so. Yes. But I tell you, Tiki, this is gonna be a weird comparison, but since we're kind of reminiscing about Nickelodeon, just to kind of go to one of my favorite things with theme park rides, Jimmy Neutron, Nicktoon Blast. Doesn't this feel like kind of like a like kind of the heft of this opening? Feel like we're hitting the alarms and we're checking
a little bit. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it for sure.
Feels like a cue or like
all right, gang. Now you get to go with us. Let's blast off to outer space to save the Hamburglar.
Exactly. Doesn't it feel like an awesome ride pre-show? Like, aren't you hyped at the opening of this thing? Like, okay, we're going to McDonald's. Let's jump in the ball pit. Yeah.
The queue would essentially be the world's most epic play place.
Yes. It'd be amazing. It's like the better version of Krusty Land. The sanctioned version of it. So yes,
it is a bit odd how we see everyone animated before Ronald goes down the ball pit.
I know, but that's the thing. They're hearing it. That's in the land already, though. But you're right. It is kind of weird. But I kind of like that we're kind of mixing it.
Well, I feel like it establishes the rule that, like, I don't know, like Ronald's house is like in the live action realm, and then everything else in McDonald Land is in the animated realm, and the ball pit is clearly some sort of, like transportation vessel between the two realms.
Then again, and this is interesting, remember, all those characters were in live action last episode.
I mean, kind of.
Like, no. What I mean is, remember, they were in. Well, what I mean is, they were. We didn't see them, but we saw them in Ronald's house watching the home movies.
I know, yeah.
So based on that logic, while we didn't see him, so I mean, assumably it's still McDonald's Land, but for some reason we transfer from live action to 2D.
Well, I mean, let's face it, Dragon. You, me, and probably everyone else are suckers for the live action bits.
So. Well, of course, I know that's why we have the live action. But if you think about it, it's like it's a practical thing. There's going for like the Back to the Future animated series wraparounds. I know, but I don't know. It's just kind of something that knows it. I mean, technically, it is. And when you come out of the ball pit, it's basically that area just animated. So it's like still Ronald's house.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Look at us talking logic and then the wacky.
I know, right? That's a very bad idea to do that, honestly.
Well, no, it's a fun thought experiment though, when you just kind of try and figure out the world, the rules of this wacky world. Anyway, so speaking of which, though, which they kind of transition us, this is our first real glimpse at McDonald's Land, revamped for the '90s, and I got to tell you, man, it looks great.
So this episode's interesting because the other two episodes were very clearly like going on an adventure, and obviously we go on an adventure in this episode. It just takes a while to get there, and I do like the world building of McDonald Land, but it is a very like there's two key things in this episode that are different than the other two structure wise that I thought were really interesting.
Yeah.
The first one is the fact that we do not have a child accompanying the characters in this one.
Yeah, and I think that was for the better.
I do too. And the second thing is that, like you said, we start in McDonald Land. We actually have a good amount of world building in McDonald Land. Hamburglar is actually stealing burgers, which
he's burgling. He's burgling the burgers, Tiki.
Dragon, I was like, like ridiculously excited about that. I'm not even.
I know, right? 'Cause I
he's
completely
a character.
forgot.
All right, he's doing his thing.
I forgot that he was able to steal again. Like, yes, look at him steal those burgers. Look at him go.
God.
He's stealing the burgers. But even better, though, I completely forgot about this. Like, oh my God. Not only is it, we kind of talked about this a little bit in the previous episodes, kind of had an answer here. It's like, oh God, McDonald's does exist in McDonald's land. They have like literally
Yes,
guys like the
yes.
M on the shirt and everything. It's not just a burger place, it's the McDonald's burgers. So apparently Ronald McDonald is a source of the economy in this world, which brings up horrific implications when you think we do have Mayor McCheese, at least in a cameo in one of these. So I don't know. But then again, we have walking chicken nuggets, so I have no idea how the rules of this world necessarily work. But I guess it's sort of like a food chain, sort of like it's kind of a Lion King sort of circle of life thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. But yeah, no, that's great. I like the pickled chairs and everything. It's in like the restaurant's in like a giant burger, and yeah, also the best part. And this is a throwback to the original McDonald's land, by the way. The idea that the fast food grew like kind of live, like not live, like stuff like on a farm. You had like burgers on bushes and trees and everything, and you have so it's the idea like you had like fries that were grown in fields like potatoes.
Okay, I love Monkey's comment here because it's very true, and I definitely took note of it as well. Dragon Ronald is just like he's a very forgiving parental figure, is he not?
Yeah, he is. I kind of like that.
Gotta love how Ronald's like, it's okay that you're a serial thief, just don't lie about it.
I mean, he's got a problem though when he sees that.
Oh man, all right.
Anyway, but seriously, what do you think about that? They kind of took the old kind of ideas from the old ads and they've kind of made into like, let's kind of put into a lush kind of cartoony world with kind of 90s fervor to it.
I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like Birthday Land doesn't that because I know obviously
Mr. Semantics Birthday World.
Oh, world. Okay, thank you. Oh my God.
We live in land. We go in the world.
But like I mean I haven't seen that one yet, but I assume that ties into the whole idea of like having a birthday at McDonald's.
I mean, yes. I mean, essentially, yes. I don't think I think we go to like a different place. I can't remember if Birthday World is in McDonald's land or not. If it is, then
I'm sure given the nature of it being a birthday themed theme park, we're not actually hanging out in McDonald's. I'm just saying that's probably like the jumping off point for the idea of
I think
episode.
Yes, ultimately, it's at the very least, it's the subliminal gimmick of like, okay, we want kids to play in the Spaceship play place, and here we want the kids to have birthdays at McDonald's, which used to be a thing that actually happened. I think happened more back in the day, actually.
Monkey's like, the full name is Ronald Birthday World.
Right. Anyway. But anyways, that's the so at the very least, I think you're absolutely on to something here. And that it was very much kind of like a marketed kind of thing of like, let's get kids to celebrate their birthdays at McDonald's like they used to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay.
What do you think of the weird ceremonial cult song?
Yeah, it's weird. I'll give you that.
I think it was definitely the most unhinged moment in the whole thing for me.
I mean, doing it once is cute, but then we just gotta keep like doing it once and stealing the burgers is one thing. But, like, really, we gotta keep doing it. Really?
I'm like, okay, this is like I said, this is very cult-like, man. This is honestly, the two times I watched this thing, both times it kind of made me like physically cringe a little bit.
Because initially I was thinking like, oh God, honestly, it's the fact that it goes on so long. That's what makes you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Initially I was thinking, okay, well, this is like, do you think, oh man, are they gearing up for war in McDonald's land, like War of the Worlds or something? But like, we had a cannon that shot fish. There's no way we're doing.
Also, I just want to acknowledge how badass Birdie looks in her karate class.
Yeah, she looks great. Yeah.
Anyways,
kicking butt, taking names, giving people breakfast, I'm sure afterwards.
Monkey says Ronald going to space predated Chuck E. Cheese going to space by like 6 months.
Oh, that's cool.
Dragon, have you seen that Chuck E. Cheese video?
I mean, there's been so many things about Chuck E. Cheese over the years. Like he's had like stupid looks. He's had like the
Chuck
traditional
look. The Galaxy 3000, I think it's called.
I don't recall exactly.
Oh, it's you want to talk unhinged, man? Ooh,
right. Anyway, the point being, the welcome song gets a little old, to say the least. And so our main moral of the story here is we don't like fibby boys, to put in Freakazoid terms. But
Yes, exactly.
you're a fibber, you're a fibby boy.
Thank you, Freakazoid, for just having an instant go-to reference on hand.
Seriously, admit they kept saying fib all over over the place because they didn't want to say lie because they think it's too harsh a word for like standards and practices. At least for
yeah.
at least for the fact
little, like, after-school special wrap-up at the end.
That's the thing. At least for the fact of like we for this we are so again we've kind of said this before with the other episodes, but we are over softening things because they're playing to like a really young audience than we probably should be. And in doing so, it's like, no, you can't say lie because lie hurts people's feelings. It's say fib.
God.
Of course, then I'd show those kids Freakazoid saying "Fibby boy" really intensely. You lie. You're a fibby boy.
Oh man.
Sorry, I'm getting down a Freakazoid rabbit hole here. Regardless,
Monkey says could go for a VeggieTales reference with the fib from outer space. Not sure how familiar you were with VeggieTales, Dragon.
Oh yeah, basically kind of vegetable Jehovah's Witnesses, pretty much.
Were they Jehovah's Witnesses? Really?
Well, I know that there was like I'm joking about the Jehovah's Witness thing. All I'm saying is that
because I was gonna say, like, the brief time in my life that my mother tried to take me to Sunday school, I saw VeggieTales, and I do not think that was a Jehovah's Witness.
Well, no, not a Jehovah. I'm joking about the Jehovah's thing, but they did have a very religious context, from what I understand.
Oh yes, for sure.
Because at least when I was a kid, I never picked up on, or I saw the episodes before they leaned in heavy into the religious. Oh, look, just little vegetables.
No, they always leaned in heavy to the religion, Dragon.
Then in the early thing, I was just laughing at like oh good, look, it's kind of like early CG, like tomato and what is it? What was it? A pickle? No, not a pickle.
Yeah, it's a cucumber.
Cucumber, yes.
Cucumber, yes.
Like tomato and cucumber. Oh, isn't that kind of cute? Anyway,
you want us to do a VeggieTales retrospective, folks?
No.
Go in the comments.
No.
We can talk about Jonah, a VeggieTales movie.
Oh, God. Anyway.
All right.
Only way you make make the religion in VeggieTales interesting is if Daredevil is somehow involved, which we're not.
Oh my God! Of course.
It's like Daredevil kicking the crap out of Tomato, and there being blood all over the place. Anyway, we're drifting off focus here.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so point being, the moral story here is boy who cried wolf, or in this case, Hamburglar who cried aliens. So, so point being, in doing so, everyone's they find the burgers, but they're like, oh, Hamburglars, they return the burgers. So we meet, I believe it's Org. Is it Orc or Org?
Org, yes.
Org. So Org, the little alien, which probably good design.
Throws me off because the Survivor game that Casey puts together. The whole genre of that game, Dragon, is called an org, and it's short for online reality game. So, like, I am very familiar with just the word org as far as, like, the terminology of it. So that always threw me off when I heard it.
So, yeah, what do you think? I like the design of Org and the aliens. What about you?
I don't necessarily.
I'm not over the moon, but I'm just saying I think they are consistent with things. So what do you think?
I don't know. They're fine, I guess. I don't think first of all, it's Class B Cuspo. God bless them. Character design has never been their strongest suit. You know it's true.
No, it's not true. It's impossible.
I love Class B Cuspo, but come on. All right.
Z and K says
the mouths, man. Those fucking giant gaping Class B Cuspo mouths.
Now, to be fair though, with aliens it plays a lot better than it does humans.
It does, sure.
Anyway, so also it's helpful that we don't really, with the exception of Ronald, we have no never mind, we have Ronald and a Hamburglar, but who knows what he might be. Anyway, so Z and K channel says Ord is from Dragon Tales. Yes, he is. Yes. Okay. Yeah, what do you got?
He points out that they're more surprised about the fountain getting a Hamburglar overhaul than they are about the actual aliens.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was our fountain, man. Actually, it was a really cool looking fountain too. All the characters.
It was. But and
Now you
also
made it.
raises the question, Dragon. I have so many questions about the mechanics of this universe that are never going to get answered in the 4 episodes we have, the 3 episodes we have left.
Yeah, we're at the halfway.
Mainly, like, again, what is Ronald McDonald's role within the hierarchy? Like, is he just like the god of McDonald Land or what?
Well, I'd like to say he's like the founder of it.
And
That's
also, like, so all his friends are just like etched in stone. Like, so I don't know. Is it like a Greek god sort of thing?
Well, no. The mythology of the commercials and everything roughly is this: just it's called McDonald's Land. He's there, so assumingly he owns the place or he helped found the place, probably with Mayor McCheese and so on and so forth. Who knows? And beyond that, he met.
We all know that Mayor McCheese is running shit behind the scenes. He's the real hero. We just never see him.
Sure. My point is, he's come across his little friends like Grimace and Birdie, and like they literally hatched Birdie. So and Hamburglar was he went there for the burger. So all the friends are kind of found. They don't work for him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So basically, Ronald McDonald built an empire.
Aliens are very similar to our real monsters. Yeah, they are. I can see that.
Something he built an empire essentially with McDonald's Land. It's essentially how it works. Yep. Too humble a guy to run the place, and he's probably gave all the power to Mayor McCheese. So there you go.
God.
Yep. Now we know.
And again, just to voice it out and get it out into the universe and will it into existence, Dragon. I have never wanted a premise for an adult animated show to come. Like, I don't generally like adult animation that much, but god damn it, I want an R-rated Mayor McCheese series so bad.
I'm going to throw you another name for it. Okay, you ready?
Okay, good. I like that this is a running thing that we keep building the cast.
Okay, here's a new name.
Okay.
Burger Time.
Wait, Burger Time? What?
Burger Time.
Okay.
The name for the show.
Oh, that's a name. Oh, I thought it was a name for a character because
no, not a name.
Because last time you threw out the whole Officer Big Mac thing.
Well, no, that's an actual thing. That's what his name is, Tiggy. Officer Big Mac.
I like Burger Time. I don't know. I'm still partial to just McCheese though.
Right.
But anyways. What do you think of Mac tonight being part of this cast?
That would be very fun, actually.
Right.
He would be kind of like the cool nightclub owner of the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
With a lounge acting, but of course the whole Mac the Knife thing, so it might be kind of an edge to him. Anyway, it'd be great though. Another name.
Oh God,
Paul Rudd would love this. Okay, another name for the show: Mac and Me.
Mac and Me, yes. I can sign off on that.
Did you ever... Okay, very quick tangent. Okay,
yes,
very quick. Are you familiar with the running gag between Conan O'Brien and Paul Rudd back when Conan had a show?
You know what? I kind of fell off of Conan after he left NBC.
Well, there's this hysterical...
Not that I stopped liking him, just that I kind of stopped religiously watching him.
Well, sure. The point is, Conan O'Brien, he had this running gag with Paul Rudd, and this just kept happening, where Paul Rudd kept every time he'd be brought in for an interview, he'd always set up a clip for the movie. And anyway, so every time he set up the clip, Conan O'Brien would completely fall for it every time. So Paul Rudd... He basically sets it up okay, and here's the scene from Ant-Man, in which he basically sets it up like a real clip. It's a scene where I meet Hank, and that kind of stuff goes on, and the clip plays, and it's the same scene every time from Mac and Me, in which the kid's falling in I don't know, he's in a shopping cart or something. He's going down a hill, and he falls in the water, and Mac pops up, the old alien pops up at the end. So that clip gets played every time, and Conan falls for it every time when he says he sets up the clip. Yeah. Anyway. So, moving on from there. So the Hamburglar, all his fibs, lead to, of course, leads to him making this friendship with Org, who asks, hey, are you the leader of this planet? Yes, it's the Hamburglar land. And I'm the Hamburglar. Yes. I love that Charlie Adler's kind of doing a little bit of Southern gentleman in that too. I'm the Hamburglar.
I'm the Hamburglar.
This is Hamburglar land.
Oh God.
So of course, all the stripe kind of mischief, like they're all wearing like Hamburglar stripes.
Hmm.
Like it's a prison commune of some kind.
Essentially, yes.
So anyway, so the aliens they're
Again,
offering
I
them.
love how Ronald McDonald, like, he never really like freaks out about these situations at all. He just always just goes with it in the most chill way. Like, hey, let's go see what's going on.
But I'm not a mime, and I'm not in prison. Why am I dressed up?
Right, right.
So we have the offer of anyway. So the family, the parents find him. And they offer they offer to take the Hamburglar on vacation with them, and he agrees without realizing a trip to where they're going would take 3,000 years. Now here's the big BS logic hole of the whole thing. Okay,
uh,
Ronald in the end does take them to where they're going, and it does not take 3,000 years. Technically, it would take them 6,000 years by the end. They would the real way this episode should end is like them going to space and making it there and then back. When they return to McDonald's land, it should be the heady realization it's been 6,000 years.
right, right.
Again, we should do the light year thing, man. Like the whole
Yeah.
time dilation thing. Like, oh god, it's been 6,000 years. But we didn't do that.
That is true. That is true.
In my
I
head
hear
canon,
ya.
6,000 years have passed, but no one's aged.
Let's see. Monkey says, that's it. Stephen Root is Hamburglar in the McCheese series.
Okay, Monkey says that the alien dad is Two-Face. Do you mean Richard Mall, Monkey? Is that who
Yes,
you're
Richard
referring
Ball,
to?
yeah.
Awesome. I did not know that, no. It's good to know. Yeah, it's good. Of course, it
And also
makes
Carol
sense.
Kane is the mother.
Yeah, that I did pick up on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Kinds of Batman alumni here.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Of course, Charlie Adler played Harley Quinn's father on the HBO Max Harley Quinn show recently, so you have that too. All right, let's see. Okay, point. I gotta be honest with you. On the rewatch, it's got this weird kind of act with the Hamburglar here, where the Hamburglar in this scene, the ways everything's kind of played up here. I gotta tell you, did you feel the Hamburglar absolutely deserved his fate here? Like he
Oh, yeah,
deserved to be left
absolutely. No question.
because he was being a real jerk at the top of this here, stealing a bunch of burgers, not really apologetic for it at all.
Okay,
He's
are
like
you
saying,
gonna say? Oh God, I
"What?"
think we're gonna be on the same page here, and I'm glad we are. Is it just so like the whole like during the whole Hamburglar song? I thought it was way too easy for Ronald McDonald to be like, you know what? This guy literally stole like thousands of burgers from us earlier today, but don't worry, buddy, I'm coming to save you.
I mean, it's twofold. In one hand, I do love that everyone, like, pretty with the exception of Ronald's, like, yeah, let's just move on. He's gone. Yeah.
Right, right.
But beyond that, though, I don't know. There's like this weird thing where, like, I mean, there's a charm to the Hamburglar, so I mean, I kind of buy it. But by the same token, though, when I'm watching the episodes, like, yeah, this guy brought everything on himself. He said yes instantly. But I got to tell you, though, this
I
might
mean,
be
I
a real
understand why
horror.
Ronald feels obliged to save him. I just don't like how stoked he is to save him. Does that
Well, I think
make
he's more.
sense?
Well, he's probably more stoked to go into space on his new toy than he is to really, save the
Sure,
Hamburglar.
sure.
The other thing, he's really excited about the adventure aspect of it, hence the show title.
Uh-huh.
But that's like, I don't know. It just feels like when you hear Charlie Adler's the Hamburger saying, "Ronald, save me!" It's like how can your heart not go out to this little wackadoo? Some degree, like oh, he's gotten into another mess. Let's bring the
That
burger
little
boy.
rapscallion.
Let's bring the burger boy home. Bring him home. Take him to go. Anyway, so speaking of which, let's get to the best part of the episode: the spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I still think I prefer the pirate ship just a tiny bit, just because I'm in love with the idea of that crow's nest dragon. I'm just the crow's nest. The crow's nest that looks like the beanbag chair section of a kid's room in a bookstore.
Tiki, that's all fine and dandy. The crow's nest is the bomb, no question. But by the same token, man, a single feature does not an epic vehicle make, my friend. The play place has everything. You look at this thing. One, it's already the idea they transformed it from a play place into a spaceship, and inside the spaceship is like the best play place ever.
Right.
Inside of this, you have again the fact that it looks like the play place. The art, like the legs of the rocket, are in the shape of the golden arches, which is awesome. And I don't know, it's the fact that it has like arms that are holding like little kind of telescope and a little, like a microphone later. I don't know. This thing is ridiculously cool, and it's just the inside of it, like the cockpit and everything on this thing. I don't know. This to me is Eon's. As much as I love the pirate ship, this Eon's cool. The pirate ship, to me, man, I love this thing so much. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good spaceship, as you probably know. So I'm a
Well, I'm a
vehicle.
sucker for a good pirate ship, so I don't know. Just
That's the
different
thing. I don't know,
fun.
that's the thing. I'm a sucker for a great vehicle design, and
Uh-huh,
this is
uh-huh.
also a great vehicle design. And again, I don't know, just it looks really neat, and I don't know, it has like kind of like the kind of the clear see through kind of like auditorium thing we have later on, and just the fact that again, I think it's marketing at its as most clever here. Like we got to build a play place or incorporate this thing into play places because if kids saw this, they'd be so enamored by it they will want to visit this thing.
Okay, I need to. Hmm.
What?
You know what's funny is that there's a YouTuber who started a series on the history of like McDonald's play places and stuff like that, but I don't think he ever got around to finishing it.
But I really, that would be really cool though. It's the fact that like if these things actually fed into like designs or maybe abandoned designs for play places they wanted to do, and like we did a pirate themed one, we did a space themed one, and
Sure,
etc.
yeah.
Just I don't know, that's really that's the again. I'm just really impressed by we had like this kind of combination of animated series premise to kind of basically marketing vehicle for McDonald's, and we're kind of mixing the two, and for the most part, it's pretty well thought out, particularly this episode.
It's really good corporate synergy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like oh, corporate greed. Yeah, but by the same token, it's like, hey, look, that's some artistry right there. Yeah.
I mean, Dragon, I can appreciate this kind of corporate synergy a lot more than I can appreciate like let's put Lightyear in Space Mountain.
What?
Yeah, that's a thing that people are talking about. And I'm just like, please no.
I didn't hear that at all.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's been a rumor.
Yeah. All right. Anywho, okay. So point being, we're in space. Let's see. So okay, here's the question. Aside from like Grimace saving their bacon later, why on earth does Grimace push the green button after Ronald explicitly says, "Don't push the green button"?
So this is my big issue with this just in general. This is my biggest issue is I honestly think the Grimace stuff is getting repetitive, not just from this, but also like we had a very similar scene to the scene where Grimace is like launched out into space with a spacesuit with the whole weird thing with when he becomes a surfboard in Grimace Island. So I just feel like they're almost kind of like recycling, like, all right, like once they set off another adventure, something's gotta happen to Grimace.
You know, I agree with you. However, I will say this though: the common theme in this that I do like is kind of Ronald and Grimace saving each other. I do like that aspect of it. Also, I do like the setting of space. I mean, you're right though; it is repetitive. We've done it like twice in a row, but I do like the idea that hey, it's like Grimace hits the eject button, he gets put into a
You know what my
spacesuit.
favorite idea about the space setting is as far as the real building goes here?
Is it the comet?
No, it's the fact that everything is dessert themed.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. So I like that the dessert, but well, the comet is kind of like it's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of like cheesy or creamy or something. It's like a tactile sort of thing to it. Like when they're stirring around, it's like kind of like a gooey kind of comet.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of okay, so speaking of the dessert thing, so that's really cool. The fact that these spaceships, yeah, there's like berries and stuff we saw later on between the two food fighting planets, and obviously
The giant sprinkles dragon. I'm sure if I did watch this as a kid, I'm sure the giant sprinkles would have gotten to me.
So that's what I'm saying. All this stuff is what really stuck in my mind most about the Visitors from Outer Space. I love the fact that the spaceship's basically dousing him, and this is why I thought it might have been McFlurry last episode. By the way, all this stuff, because I'm thinking like, okay, they're hitting him with whipped cream,
Honestly,
and
it's kind of a missed opportunity that it wasn't a McFlurry.
yeah, I don't know, because again, if they just made those, if they made the sprinkles
It's
M&Ms,
literally like all the McFlurry ingredients if you think about it.
if the sprinkles were M&Ms, it'd be identical.
Mhm.
So that's what I guess. I love the spaceship is kind of dousing him in all this sort of like Sunday stuff, and it looks really fun and kind of cartoony in all the right ways, and it looks really good in space. By that's the fun part. It's like it's ice cream in
It does look
space.
really. It's like the one time where the weird random like surreal animation actually makes sense because hey, it's space. Fuck it, anything could go down.
Yeah, but it's also the fact like how often do you see ice cream in space? And it's kind of like a takeoff of the Milky Way. What if it was like the milkshake
No,
galaxy?
no, no. You're right. Visually, it is pretty cool for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, we should probably let me. I've been so again. I like Ronald saving Grimace. Also, I really like Ronald's spacesuit. The very McDonald'sy logoed kind of spacesuit looks nice.
Indeed, indeed. We gotta have
Okay, so
that logo front and center.
let me tell you a little story, Tiki. Let me tell you a
Oh
story
dear,
about.
yes. I've been excited for this, Dragon. You've been hyping this up.
Okay, let me tell you a little story about I Am Hungry.
Okay, okay.
So one, I am hungry. Here he's so apparently, and I posited this for so long because it has been eons since I've seen this, and for preparation for this, I double checked to make sure I wasn't trenched in madness because I had never until this had the occasion to think about it long enough to go back and do the research on this. So I am hungry. I always remembered from this. That's why at the very least I knew I at least seen a scene from this because I remember I am hungry and not for the best of reasons. So I am hungry, as we established here. He's very Slimer-esque from Ghostbusters. This little kind of flying guy, he eats all the stuff, says, I am hungry. So if Slimer could talk, be something like that. So mainly because I have to imagine because of the ad. So I am hungry was a mascot. I assume not a long-lived mascot because you can only find one ad with him, and I assume this is the ad that I saw along with this. So I am hungry. I vividly remembered in a CG form, which he is in the ad. He's CG in the ad. It's only one ad. It came out a year before this. So as a kid, that CG form it gave me a nightmare.
No, no.
So here's the nightmare. I vividly remember it.
Oh God.
So it's very
This
simple.
is a childhood trauma story, folks.
Yes, that's the thing with I Am Hungry. I have very, very
Oh my
specific,
God.
very specific story. It's very silly, mind you, and of course now it's not as scary, but when you're a kid, kind of very startling. So I'm in the middle of kind of like a Temple of Doom bridge kind of scenario. You got a rickety bridge. Again, not exactly Temple of Doom. That's kind of the best example of the rickety bridge. So you're crossing the rickety bridge. It's very perilous, and you're seeing like the broken like planks of wood and everything, and essentially POV in the dream, your face going down through. You're seeing to the other side of the plank of wood that's just broken before you. Probably hugging the bottom of the bridge, seeing crocodiles at the bottom of the water. And worst possible time for this to happen.
Oh my
Who
God.
shows up when you think, "Oh God, I'm going to die this way"? It's the very eerie CG version of I Am Hungry I don't even know if he said his line, but he just basically was like very ravenous and just kind of coming after you. And yeah, that's I don't know if he came at me with malice in the dream or not. It might have just been a jump scare. But yeah, thank goodness that had only ran once, and then there was this. So it's like, oh God, yeah. So this is obviously a blast from the past. Yep, that's him, all right. Though it was just a green puff ball, big old Tasmanian devil mouth, almost like big tongue and everything. So I'm hungry, but again, the fact in the dream though, he was absolutely CG. That was the thing that haunted me because I remember him in 2D, but so again for years I wondered, was there ever a CG rendering of this character? And again, I knew, that's where I got the CG from, that one ad he was in, and then he kind of stuck in there because of this. So that's the I Am Hungry story. I hope it didn't disappoint after all the buildup.
No. I loved it.
So this happened
for a good childhood trauma story, Dragon.
So this special might have to be my favorite because it's very personally tied with stuff like that. So the point being, though, looking back on it years later, having gotten over that, it's like, oh look, it's very random. You see, kind of whistles in this, but the fact that we've used every McDonald's mascot as much as we could in some way, shape, or form. Again, we could have used that one pirate mascot in the previous episode, but outside of that, like we're calling the obscure guys, like I Am Hungry, who was thought to be maybe a trendy guy we can bring back, but I'm going to assume, like me, kids probably put off by him, and we didn't bring him back.
He vaguely reminds me of like the Honey Puffs, like gremlin guy. Do you remember him?
Not really, no. I mean, I don't know. Honey Puffs, I'm not sure.
Anyways.
Yeah, we got some trying to see if we have any comments, but Honeycomb's Craver,
Mhm.
Craver character. That's what he says there. Okay, Z in cases. I had a similar feeling to that with Animal from the Muppets, who does look a little like I Am Hungry. He says, yeah, there is kind of a Henson-like design to him there. Only not.
Oh yeah,
Only
for
again,
sure.
it's kind of weird that there's no body. Just the kind of the body is the head.
Right.
Kind of the
Right.
eerie thing about him though is just kind of hovers around like there's no logic to him. Do you remember that episode of the Powerpuff Girls where you had like the giant, like I forget what I think Bebo is what he was called, like the giant red furry thing he kept feeding, and it kind of grew until he blew up into a billion
Oh, I
Bebos.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Little kind of logic similar to that. Anywho, let's see. Okay, so point being, I am hungry. Kind of again the lighthearted things like it eats the Sunday off. It basically cleans the ship by licking everything off.
Yeah, makes sense, as you do.
All right, let's see. So
Little Deus Ex Machina there.
I will say, isn't this kind of like I was thinking this is going to go in a different direction? Like, man, we just cleaned this ship, and they're about to enter into like a food fight between the berry planets.
So you thought the direction wasn't going to be like the physical danger, but more so like, God damn it, we need to keep the ship clean.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be. No, to me, it was like, oh man, we just cleaned this ship, and they're going to be like, we're going to be covered. Again, there's going to be no real stakes. They're going to get messy, is all. But
Right.
they were kind of treating messy kind of like stakes, and I'm kind of glad we didn't get messed up against the woodman. We just did that scene like 2 minutes ago.
So that kind of leads me into a point I have about this, just in general. This definitely, like, once we get into Space Dragon, it really does start to become just surrealism for the sake of surrealism.
Yeah. What did you think of the Hamburglar song? The whole like "Rescue Me" song. Wasn't that an earworm for you at all, or you didn't care for that at all?
No, the Dragon, that the Grimace Island song is the earworm. I can't get it out of my head, and none of these songs are doing it.
Okay.
Look, as far as the songs go, I honestly, just none of these songs really did it for me as far as just like the earworm quality. Because of course, the first one, the batch of songs was pretty weak, except for the whole. As we already established, it's kind of like memorable because of how basic it is. The whole set up camp, and then Grimace Island was just like that was just a fucking like shot of adrenaline, man. Like I don't even. I'm still reeling from that. I really am.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, yes. Also, we have this is kind of like a weird. This is kind of like nostalgia for an ad right now because when they did the last episode, you saw at the end of the tape, they had the whole like preview for visitors from outer space. You had like this weird kind of like music cue that plays once we see the spaceship, and essentially them giving the concert, and they actually play. So the song they sing here when they basically tell everyone to stop food fighting. It's that really cool kind of commercial music cue of like dream, and that kind of playing. It's like kind of a techno beat of some kind. It's like, oh, it's kind of nice.
This is like totally the type of music I could see Cosmic Ray singing in the Starlight Cafe in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I could buy it.
Sunny Eclipse, not Cosmic Ray. Cosmic Ray owns the building. Sunny Eclipse is the performer.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. So, anyways, of course, they inevitably they kind of they bail the Hamburglar out of his peril right now because they have to give the aliens a ride to their vacation spot. Which again, writing wise, not great at all because again, if they go to the vacation, it'll be 3,000 years. Like, I'm not even talking about the actual logistics of like space travel. I'm just talking like literally what you said, like the whole stakes of the episode. It's like getting to where they're going 3,000 years.
Right. So it's like they do ultimately arrive at where they're going. Like, wouldn't it be 3,000 years?
I know it's a thing. We don't
Yeah, you're right. That totally breaks the logic for sure.
I'm not even asking to overthink it. I'm just saying, literally, what's 3,000 years, and how do we solve this? We don't solve it at all. They just do the thing anyway.
Oh God, where's Idris Elba in the form of a genie when you need him?
Okay, Z and K makes a point here. He says they'd be staying there that long. I mean, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe I did miss that. I don't know. I didn't recall them saying that, but I don't know.
Monkey
You know
says,
what?
What? Scream Carol Kane does when
Right.
the rocket's falling is goddamn something.
Yes, Z and K, you might absolutely be right there, but maybe I did miss that. I mean, maybe it's not a big plot hole. Maybe it's fine.
It's kind of like the opposite of Happy World Land. Hamburglar's like, can we go home now? No, we must stay.
It's kind of weird though, stay for a vacation for like 3,000 years.
No, you're right. Look, Dragon, I think I'm just going to have to defer to Crunk on this one. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I'm just going to pitch something randomly here for a brief moment. Okay, you know how you have like breakfast with Mickey?
Yes.
Okay. Brunch with Crunk.
Brunch with Crunk.
Crunk holds a very tasteful brunch, including spinach puffs.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can see it.
And you have Crunk wearing the apron, the mascot of Crunk wearing the apron and the big chef's hat. Which they do have that. They did have the old.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah. Just pitching, just throwing it out there. Anyway, so Hamburglar kind of throws himself to the mercy of the clown and the group here. And I just love Charlie Adler's doing the pathetic kind of cries here. It's like, all these things I cheated you, I fibbed, I did this.
Know.
I painted Sunday's tail.
Okay, that was a decent gag. I will admit that gag did have some decent comic delivery to it.
I really did like that. Also, I do like with the button pressing thing. Grimace did save everyone's bacon with the spring, like you hit like a little spring break landing thing. Which is nice. All right, so the vacation happens. The aliens are like, "Can I go in the black hole?" I have to wait 30 minutes after you ate. No, it's a nice vacation spot. I got to be honest.
I like how the parents are depicted in this as basically like the most mundane, like tourist parents who are just trying to get the most out of their vacation, and they don't want the kid wasting their time because on vacation time is literally money. It's very mundane stakes, I think. In spite of the 6,000 years thing.
I'm throwing just kind of a vague idea out there. We don't have to do it by any stretch. I won't like foolishly commit us to anything here, but there are 2 Rugrats episodes that are very vacation themed. At some point, we should probably do.
Oh, that has crossed my mind, sir. That has definitely crossed my mind.
If memory serves, they were on the same VHS tape.
Okay, let's see. We have the Vegas one. That's the one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The other one.
Well, the VHS tape I'm referring to, I believe, had both of these episodes on, which include the Vegas vacation as the main feature, and additionally, you had Angelica and Tommy going to the Grand Canyon.
Oh my God, the Grand Canyon, Jesus! Oh,
right. You remember that one, don't you?
Okay, honestly, if we were to do something like that, I would either do it as just like, yes, I do. I would either do it as one standalone podcast, just covering the Vegas one, or I don't know, like maybe we could do like Nickelodeon travel episodes, cover the Hey Arnold Dinosaur Land episode.
Well, it's not really a travel episode, though.
No, but it's a theme park episode.
Well, for sure, yeah.
But anyways.
Anywho.
That has some potential.
All right. Anywho, let's see. The places
I definitely would like to talk about the Vegas episode for sure.
For sure. The places Nickelodeon took us.
I know, right?
Anywho, so let's see. So we return possibly 6,000 years later. We don't know. Actually, no, Z and K's right. We didn't. Yeah. We didn't do that. So then we have our coda at the end in live action, where basically we have kind of the moral of our after school special. And I love how I love the delivery on Ronald McDonald where he just says, the Hamburglar was contacting on a little wrist radio. We all learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Very unsubtly. We all learned a valuable lesson. But tell me, Tiki, you going out of cozy that crow's nest isn't this like a cozy setup? It's bedtime, and he and Sunday had a little nice conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The difference between fibbing and teasing. Yeah. Oh, like we should do another space adventure sometime. Yeah, we go to Saturn. Like Ronald, I was teasing.
Okay, I don't know, man. There's something about that little exchange. That was like the first time that Sunday really like hit my heart just a little bit.
Right? Man. How nice was that scene, wasn't it? Like that's a win for that.
Very nice little moment.
That's a win for the dog.
Space thing, Ronald.
That's a win for the dog.
So I think that I think the secret formula for writing Sunday as a character is those little moments where he is very content.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I agree. Yes. All right.
So I think that's it, Dragon. What's next?
Well, it's weird the way they kind of
Yeah,
I
I
imagine
know. So
because
I'm genuinely kind of asking.
well, no, I know what's next. I'm pretty sure I know what's next.
Okay.
I believe next is Birthday World Day.
I'm pretty
Actually,
sure,
so
yeah.
if memory serves, Birthday World, the time travel, the time travel or time machine, whatever you
Have
call it,
time will travel.
and then the last one I believe is the Loch Ness monster.
Franklin's coming back. Are you excited? Are you fucking pumped about the return of Franklin, Dragon?
Do you know if it's both kids or just Franklin?
I'm not sure. In the little teaser we saw him in the wide shot where they're all doing the cheerleader pose. And I assume that's Birthday World.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like the big image of that one's like them by the birthday cake, which is a
Right.
really
And I know he's in Halftime Will Travel because I keep seeing him in the thumbnail for that
well.
one.
I'm going to assume his father builds the time machine, so that makes
Right,
sense.
right. So are you excited for Franklin Dragon, our favorite character?
Well, let's see if he actually has a line this time. Actually has something to contribute instead of just being there.
He had like 4 lines last time, Dragon.
Yeah. So let's see the
Oh, the cheerleader pose was from Grimace Island? Really? Okay, fair.
Anyway, yeah. So it's kind of funny. Like I think the logic here was like we're gonna hook them with 3, and then they'll have to get the other 3.
B&K says, I'll say this about the next 3. Massive overhaul in format. Interesting.
So that's the thing, Tiki, is when we after 3, it feels very much like we have them now, and we're gonna sell them the other 3. We don't even have to worry about like building up like individually what the next one's gonna be. Here are the next 3. Buy them.
Right, for sure.
That's what I think the logic is there.
That's absolutely what that teaser felt like at the very least.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's the end, and we've reached the end of our 6,000-year journey.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, folks, it's been fun. Big thanks to Z and K, Monkey, and that guy who made a very brief cameo. All right, see y'all later. Have a good night.
Hamburglar land. He's the Hamburglar. Robble.
Rabble,
I am hungry.
I am hungry. Dragon, what would you
eat.
rather watch? I Am Groot or I Am Hungry?